All right, we have some breaking news. Just within the last hour, convicted double murderers, Erik and Lyle Menendez, are now one step closer to freedom. A judge in L.A. has just announced he will allow the brothers' resentencing petition to move forward, which means they'll both have a full hearing in just under a week, next Thursday. Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman had opposed this. He joins me now. I just got to get your reaction, DA Hochman, to the judge's ruling.
So the fact that the Menendez brothers will have a resentencing hearing is not unexpected. In fact, there was two paths to get there. One, the court had initiated its own motion for a resentencing hearing, and the second was the prior DA had initiated his own motion. We took issue with the prior DA's motion because it had no analysis of the Menendez brothers' failure to completely accept responsibility for all the lies they have told over the past 30 years, including the lies of self-defense, the lies of trying to characterize their father as a violent rapist, their mother as a poisoner of the family, and the lie that they were trying to get a handgun the day before the murders. The judge basically said that he would not allow us to withdraw our motion, so there are effectively now two paths to the resentencing hearing. So we fully expected there to be a resentencing hearing. We're going to be prepared to argue that the Menendez brothers' request is not ripe. It's actually premature because they have failed to unequivocally and sincerely admit all the wrongdoing that they've been engaged in. And we'll see what the judge has to say at the end of that resentencing hearing.
And is the same judge going to be holding this hearing next Thursday?
The same judge will be holding the hearing, but the standards will be different. It's not whether or not there should be a resentencing hearing, but at the resentencing hearing itself, does the Menendez brothers, or do the Menendez brothers meet the standard to not only show rehabilitation, but to also show they don't pose an unreasonable risk of danger to society, and then try to get their sentence of life without the possibility of parole reduced to a life with the possibility of parole.
All right, they continue. You say they have to admit they lied about being abused as children by their father, but they continue to maintain that they were sexually abused by their father, and that's why they killed them.
So you have actually got it completely wrong.
Oh,
so
okay.
The central defense was not sexual abuse at the trial. In fact, the Menendez brothers, we actually showed in court today, the Menendez brothers each testifying at the trial that sexual abuse was not the reason that they killed their father. They killed their father and their mother because they believed that their father and their mother was going to murder them the night of August 20th, 1989, and they basically shot them before their parents killed them.
Right, but I think I'm sorry, I wasn't clear in my question. I'm not talking about what they said at trial, although that's probably what's important in the resentencing hearing. I'm talking about what they've said since then, and their family has said since then. Their family, which are also the victim's family in this case, obviously, have argued that they were victimized sexually by their father for all of those years. So, but my question to you is, you just said you need them in order to support this. They need to admit that they lied about the sexual abuse. They have not said that.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
It's such an important point. Our position was not that they lied about the sexual abuse. Our position was they lied about the self-defense, the idea that they were in actual fear of imminent harm from their parents that night. We showed that they had a pre-planned alibi ready to go.
Right.
That they had bought shotguns 2 days before. And they talked about killing their parents a week before, having nothing to do with self-defense. And then when they actually spoke to their own psychiatrist, and it was taped after the killings, at no point do they bring up self-defense. So we're saying that the self-defense defense is the lie, not the sexual abuse, but the self-defense defense, and all the suborning and attempting to suborn perjury. When they asked all their friends to basically have a variety of lies on their behalf, and none of the self-defense lies and none of the suborning perjury or attempting to suborn perjury lies have been acknowledged by the Menendezes in the last 30 years. And we're saying until they come clean, fully clean, with the full breadth of their lies, deceit, and their denials, they are not in a position to be trusted, to be fully rehabilitated, and continue to pose a risk to society of public safety.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.